Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video thumbs up. According to the Bold and the Beautiful B&B spoilers for Tuesday, March 10th, Katie Logan Spencer, Heather Tom, and Bill Spencer, Don Diamont, will stand up to Brooke Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, despite their attempts to reconcile. As Tuesday's B&B episode begins, Ridge and Brooke will dine with Bill and Katie in the hopes of finding a way forward. Perhaps Brooke and Ridge will urge that, for Eric Forrester's, John McCook's, sake, they put the fashion drama behind them and move on. That won't work for Bill, who believes they have the right to use the drawings Eric has already submitted to Logan. Katie had been skeptical about it, but she will eventually agree to Bill's idea. Of course, this will escalate the tension because Ridge and Brooke will believe Bill and Katie are stealing from Eric. Brooke and Ridge will react negatively to Katie and Bill's conduct because those designs are Forrester originals. Meanwhile, Dylan, Sydney Bullock, will reflect on her kiss with Will Spencer, Crew Morrow, during her shift at Il Giardino. Deke Sharp, Harrison Cohn, may observe Dylan's distraction and wonder what she wants to say. Dylan will make Deke her confidant on Tuesday's show, so she'll sit at the bar and reveal her feelings for Will. Although things are tough, Dylan may acknowledge that she hopes Will may someday move past Electra Forrester, Linnea Grace, and have a happy future with her. Dylan will benefit from Will and Electra's failed attempt to reconcile in the following episodes. Ivy Forrester's, Ashley Brewer, plan to keep Electra and Will apart will continue, but she will struggle to keep Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, quiet. As for Will and R.J. Forrester, Brian Nicoletti, their feud is just going to get worse from here. According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, RJ and Will are on the verge of a full-fledged feud, so keep an eye out for any negative developments. CDL will have other excellent Bold and the Beautiful teasers and stuff to check out. Make us your favorite B&B hotspot. The anxiety in Los Angeles had been growing for months, ever since rumors surfaced concerning Eric Forrester's future at Forrester Creations. Ridge, ever the protective son, had tightened his grip, marginalizing his father in ways that others saw as treachery. Eric, the iconic designer whose name defined the brand, was pushed into retirement, his creative fire drained by family decisions he didn't completely support. Katie Logan Spencer sensed an opportunity in this culture of simmering resentment, not only for business, but for something emotional as well. She had always been the underappreciated Logan sister, playing second fiddle to Brooke's dramatic romances and flashy headlines. With Bill Spencer by her side, Katie founded Logan, a new fashion brand based on Eric's secret designs. The move was more than just professional. It was a proclamation. Eric's talent would shine again, but on her terms rather than Ridge's. Brooke, of course, could not let that go uncontested. Her devotion to Ridge and the Forrester lineage was deep, mixed with her tumultuous relationship with Bill and her enduring affection for her sister Kate. The revelation that Eric was covertly designing for Katie came like a thunderclap. Brooke felt the sting of betrayal, not just from Katie, but also from the possibility that her sister might use family ties to destroy the corporation that had given them all so much. Ridge's rage was more intense. He interpreted it as theft, a direct attack on his father's legacy and his own leadership. Conversations in the Forrester home were heated, with accusations of allegiance, greed, and old wounds rekindled. Bill, never one to back down, stayed hard with Katie, seeing the circumstance as an opportunity to retaliate against Ridge, Brooke's professional and romantic competitor. As the days turned into weeks, the difference became more pronounced. Katie and Bill continued to prepare for Logan's premiere, while Eric quietly sketched pieces that exemplified his signature grace and creativity. The press was buzzing with rumors, and the fashion industry was waiting for the battle between the established Forrester Creations and the new Logan brand. Brooke and Ridge, meantime, debated how to reply. They talked late into the night, Brooke's eyes filled with concern for her sister and the family wounds that were irreparable. Ridge paced, his design impulses competing with his protective instincts. They decided, perhaps stupidly, that a frank chat would fix matters. An olive branch, dinner, calm words, a reminder of shared history, could soothe the conflict's edges. After all, they were family, tied by marriages, children, and decades of shared experiences. Tuesday arrived with crisp California brightness that belied the impending storm. Brooke dressed carefully, selecting a soft suit that exuded warmth rather than confrontation. Ridge adjusted his tie multiple times, his jaw set in resolve. They arrived at the expensive restaurant where Katie and Bill had agreed to meet, the atmosphere dense with unsaid expectations. Katie sat still, her countenance guarded, while Bill leaned back, arms crossed, oozing the assurance of a man who had already planned every possible consequence. Pleasantries were exchanged. Small banter about the weather, a mention of Will and how well he was doing, but the undercurrent could not be ignored. Brooke spoke first, her voice calm yet forceful. She acknowledged the pain felt by all parties, as well as the misunderstandings that had accumulated. She reminded Katie of their sisterly bond, and how they had always supported each other through pain and victory. Ridge contributed his bit, apologizing if his decisions regarding Eric came across as callous. He talked about legacy and how he wanted to acknowledge Eric's achievements without forcing him out. The remarks were genuine, infused with the optimism that time and family ties could mend what business had broken apart. They proposed a truce, perhaps collaboration or a ceasefire. No more public insults or covert designs. A road forward in which everyone can cohabit. Katie listened as her fingers traced the rim of her glass. Bill observed her, prepared to intervene if necessary. When she finally spoke, her tone was measured yet firm. She appreciated the gesture, she added, but words couldn't erase the months of feeling marginalized, of seeing Eric's abilities wasted as Ridge entrenched control. Logan was more than just a business, it was Katie stepping out of the shadows and taking her position. Eric had consciously chosen this route, and she would not desert him now. Bill leaned forwards, his voice low and sharp. He emphasized the hypocrisy. Ridge had no problem leveraging family connections when it benefited him, but cried foul when Katie did the same. The peace gesture appeared to be a ploy to recapture control, rather than true healing. Katie nodded in agreement. They flatly rejected it. There is no truce, and no olive branch is accepted. The division would endure. The table went silent for a long time. Brooke's eyes glistened as the rejection bit harder than she expected. Ridge's expression hardened, and the little glimmer of optimism faded. They left the restaurant shortly after, with the meal scarcely touched. Brooke glanced out the car window, repeating the discussion and wondering where the sister she knew had gone. Ridge grabbed the steering wheel, his fury seething once more. The truce had failed catastrophically, leaving only deeper hatred. Meanwhile, across town, another thread of drama played out quietly. Dylan, entangled in her own web of young adult issues involving Will and Electra, found time to confide in Deke. The weight of secrets, misunderstandings, and developing affections had pressed on her. Deke listened, providing the steady presence that made her feel noticed. It was a minor incident in the greater family conflict, but it served as a reminder that life in Los Angeles was fraught with numerous fronts: romance, ambition, and betrayal, all colliding in the glittering world of fashion and family. Katie and Bill returned to their preparations with renewed vigor, focusing on the core dispute. The rejection of Brooke and Ridge's gesture strengthened their determination. Logan would start on its own terms, with Eric's designs front and center. The press conference loomed, providing an opportunity to formally disclose the line. Katie had a mix of happiness and sadness. This was her moment, but it came at the expense of her friendship with Brooke. Bill, feeling her silent distress, consoled her. They were creating something genuine that could not be taken away by shame or nostalgia. Brooke and Ridge escaped to the Forrester estate, where the air was heavy with unspoken defeat. They discussed the next steps, how to safeguard the corporation and what to do if Logan succeeded. Brooke wondered aloud whether she should contact Katie personally, sister to sister, away from the guys and the business. Ridge doubted it would help. Bill's influence was tremendous, and Katie was altered by her newfound independence. The Logan-Forrester schism, once bridged by marriages and shared grandchildren, now felt permanent. As the daylight faded, the city lights twinkled beneath the hills. Conversations proceeded inside mansions and offices. Katie went over designs with Eric, and his eyes lit up in a way they hadn't in years. Brooke sat with a glass of wine, recalling the sisters' shared history, laughter in the old house, secrets whispered beneath the covers. Ridge looked at the designs on his desk, wondering if legacy meant clinging on too firmly. Bill poured himself a scotch, pleased that his companion had held her ground. The refusal was about more than just a meal or an olive branch. It reflected years of imbalances: Brooke's prominence, Katie's support position, Ridge's dominance, Eric's marginalization, Bill's opportunism versus family loyalty. In soap opera terminology, such scenes rarely end nicely. They fester, burst, and eventually result in new alliances or deeper collapses. Katie and Bill's stand signaled a tipping point. No more acting nice. Logan would climb, even if it meant overtaking Forrester Creations. The fallout spread. Whispers in the industry became louder. Would designers abandon ship? Will models choose sides? The fashion elite watched, popcorn in hand. For the Logans and Forresters, it was more than just business. It was identity, pride, and love twisted into competition. Katie stood on her balcony that evening, staring out over the city. She recalled Brooke's expression at the table, the hurt in her eyes. A sense of regret struck her, but she pushed it aside. This was her current course. Brooke gripped a pillow at home, remembering when things were simpler. Ridge joined her, offering silent support in the quiet room. The truce had failed, but the drama wasn't over. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, peace gifts rarely work the first time. Wounds are deep, and healing only comes with more drama, disclosures, and grief. Katie and Bill had drawn a line. Brooke and Ridge would have to determine how to cross it, or whether they wanted to try again. Tensions increase in Los Angeles as ancient scars resurface and long-standing rivalries take center stage. When two couples with a tangled history try to reconcile, they learn that forgiveness is far more difficult than expected. For years, the Logans, Forresters, and Spencer's connections have been intertwined in love, treachery, and shifting allegiance, and this latest episode demonstrates that the past is never fully buried. Katie Logan and Bill Spencer Jr. are at the core of the drama, and their relationship has seen many ups and downs over the years. Their romance has always been intense, with passionate reunions and heartbreaking betrayals. Bill's larger-than-life attitude and Katie's resolve to protect her heart have frequently put them on opposing sides of emotional conflicts. Despite their tumultuous background, the couple has recently rediscovered common ground, determined to defend what they have established together. Brooke Logan and Ridge Forrester attempt to extend an olive branch, putting their tenuous stability to the test. Brooke and Ridge feel that reducing tensions with Katie and Bill will bring some peace to their interwoven families. The two spouses have clashed several times in the past, frequently because their romantic histories intersect in ugly ways. Brooke herself has had sexual relationships with Bill in the past, which have left significant wounds on Katie's trust. Those memories persist, making any attempt at reconciliation extremely sensitive. When Brooke and Ridge approach Katie and Bill with their peace proposal, they hope to start again. Brooke, in particular, believes that it is time for everyone to move on rather than hold grudges. She understands that the schism between her and her sister has had long-term consequences for the family. Katie has frequently grappled with emotions of betrayal since Brooke started connected with Bill, and the emotional anguish is not quickly forgotten. Ridge backs Brooke's efforts to make things over, partly because he wants stability in their social and professional circles. Ridge, a prominent player in the fashion industry and a member of the influential Forrester family, understands how personal problems may cross over into commercial matters. If the couple's tensions persist, it may have an impact on community cooperation and relationships. Despite Brooke and Ridge's best intentions, the meeting swiftly takes a turn. Katie and Bill listen to the plan, but make it plain that they do not want to pretend everything is good. Their response is forceful and quite blunt. They reject the peace offering directly, leaving Brooke and Ridge astonished. Bill, known for his outgoing demeanor and inability to back down, does not hold back his opinions. He warns Brooke and Ridge that their previous actions caused significant harm, and that a simple apology cannot undo years of mistrust. Bill's loyalty to Katie now comes first, and he is determined not to let anyone jeopardize the stability they have created together. Katie stands strong beside him, reinforcing the mood. She admits that reconstructing her life and relationship with Bill required significant work and emotional growth. Opening the door to reconciliation with Brooke and Ridge could jeopardize recent gains. Katie prefers to focus on the future rather than reliving bad experiences. Brooke struggles to accept this reaction. She had hoped that her sister would be ready to mend their relationship, but Katie's reluctance demonstrates that the scars are still open. Brooke attempts to defend her intentions, claiming that she genuinely wants to move forward and mend the family schism. Brooke's remarks, however, are interpreted by Katie as being too little, too late. Ridge also becomes frustrated as the chat progresses. He expected some pushback, but not such a strong rejection. Ridge believes that everyone should try to work past their differences. When Bill opposes that proposal, the situation quickly becomes tense. Bill makes it plain that he is not seeking Ridge's favor or friendship. He has never been frightened of confrontation, and he believes Ridge's attempt at reconciliation is somewhat hypocritical. According to Bill, Ridge has also contributed to many of the issues that have plagued their families over the years. The angry debate demonstrates how deeply rooted the rivalries are. Old charges re-emerge, as each side revisits previous grudges. What was supposed to be a step toward peace has become another battleground for unresolved resentment. Brooke grows more emotional as the talk progresses. She despises the thought that her relationship with Katie may never entirely recover. Brooke's identity has always revolved around her family, and she is still struggling to accept the loss of that link with her sister. Katie, on the other hand, argues that she has arrived at a moment when maintaining her emotional well-being takes precedence above healing every relationship. She doesn't want to live in continual terror that history would repeat itself. Trust, once broken, requires considerably more than words to rebuild. Meanwhile, Ridge tries to redirect the argument back to compromise, but his efforts fall short. Bill rejects the notion of reconciliation under what he perceives to be disingenuous circumstances. For Bill, actions speak louder than words, and he is skeptical that Brooke and Ridge have actually changed. The tension between the males is very obvious. Both are strong personalities used to getting their way, and neither enjoys being challenged. Their antagonism has simmered for years, driven by romantic entanglements and competing goals. As the dispute escalates, it becomes evident that the conference is about to implode. Brooke and Ridge realize that their attempts to restore peace have only made matters worse. The couple's emotional difference appears to be bigger than ever. The fact that the two couples are still connected through business and familial networks complicates the matter even further. It's nearly impossible to completely avoid each other. That truth makes the collapse of this peace initiative all the more frightening. Brooke's encounter prompts her to think on her previous decisions. She can't help but wonder whether things would have been different had she handled certain relationships more carefully. She is frustrated, but regret remains behind it. Katie, on the other hand, feels empowered when she stands her ground. For much of her life, she struggled with emotions of uncertainty and betrayal. Refusing Brooke's offer of peace becomes a watershed moment for her, a proclamation that she will no longer disregard her own boundaries. Bill fully supports that decision. He has made numerous mistakes in his own personal life, but he now wants to demonstrate that his dedication to Katie is sincere. Defending her from emotional attacks is one way he tries to show his loyalty. Ridge exits the confrontation furious. He hoped that maturity and time would eventually ease the tensions between their families. Instead, he realizes how delicate the situation remains. Brooke feels his disappointment, but understands Katie's point of view more than Ridge does. She understands that the past cannot be wiped with a single conversation. Still, she hopes that her sister will reconsider. As the dust settles, it becomes evident that the attempted truce has failed miserably. Instead of bringing families closer together, it has entrenched existing differences. The emotional consequences from this argument may last for a long time. However, in the world of Los Angeles couture and high society drama, nothing remains still for long. Alliances fluctuate, relationships change, and unexpected events might force rivals to work together again. Even if this peace effort failed, the narrative is far from over. The rejection of Brooke and Ridge's offer begins a new chapter in the continuous story of loyalty, love, and rivalry. Each character must now select how to go while navigating the intricate web of relationships that holds them together.